Hi to all the lovely people, you all are once again most welcome to Tutorials Point. Well, again, as you've just read it right, but is a very commonly used word in English. Because it is a very commonly used word in English, therefore we end up using it time and again, and because we end up using it time and again, we do not want it to sound boring in our language. So in this video, I bring forward to you some powerful synonyms of but which you can use in English. Now, obviously we do not want to end up making our language boring by using the same word time and again, which is why it is really important, it is really a great idea to use but, to use probably synonyms of but in your language so that it doesn't just sound all the similar all the time. Let's go ahead and learn what are these synonyms. Okay, well, as the saying goes, correct, everything before but is useless. Well, from that perspective also, using but time and again is not the best idea to use in your language, because usually but is not received at a very positive note. So if you want to put forward whatever you want to say but in a positive way, replace but from your language and use these amazing synonyms. Here are some examples. Although you be going there, we expect you to be well dressed. So, or however, or except, or nevertheless, on the other hand, still, though, yet. So all these words actually are synonyms of but. So let's look at an example. She is a great student. However, she fails to pay attention sometime. Now, the same but, instead of however, basically you had to use but now you replaced however, that but with however, and obviously that negativity turned into a positive. You conveyed the same message. However, by using however, you converted it and you brought it out as better positive. So yes, however is a synonym of but which you can use in your language, and of course by using this you can avoid using but all the time. Same goes for except for the fact that he is very lazy. I feel he is a great addition to the team. So here again, instead of but, you're using except. Nevertheless, well, I think she is doing a great job. Nevertheless, she needs to pay attention to her speed, or she needs to pay attention to her accuracy. So again, instead of but, you're using nevertheless. On the other hand, well, she's doing a great job. On the other hand, her sister is not as efficient as she is. So instead of but, you're replacing but with a different phrase. Of course, you're not making it sound way too boring now in your language. You're conveying the same message but in an interesting way. Still, or though, or yet. So all these again are words which you can use to replace but in your language so that it doesn't sound as boring. Okay, again, the list doesn't just end there. Here are some other synonyms which you can use instead of but. Well, only. So you can go ahead and enjoy. The only thing that you need to be careful about is not talking to strangers. So here again, you're replacing but with only. So again, depending upon the context, you can use any of these words, any of these synonyms, which will probably make sense in that particular context. So again, instead of saying but, you are replacing it with a different word, a different synonym, which of course should make sense in that context as well. Except for, or in contrast, or for example, in contrast to that color which you wore yesterday, this looks better. So it's like you're replacing but from that particular sentence, or whereas, or on the contrary, I think she's doing a great job. So for that matter, nonetheless, and I think the team has been very hardworking. Nonetheless, we weren't able to drive results. So instead of but, you're using nonetheless. Same goes for alternatively or otherwise. So all these are words which can be used instead of but in your language. And of course, we don't like to hear but as much, don't we? Don't you all agree to it? Yes, I know you all do. So because you don't like to hear but, why don't we go ahead and replace it with something better? So of course, these words are definitely better instead of using but in your daily language. Go ahead and start using them. Definitely it is going to sound way more interesting. Well, I'm sure this video would have helped you a lot understanding the usage of but and understanding how can you actually use the same word but in a better manner. Well, I'll see you again in the next video. Till that time, keep learning with tutorials, point and tutorics. Have a great day.